Hey, YouTube. All right, so argon is in the panes, filled, and this sealant is solid now. It's cured. One thing we did have to do was we didn't label the color of the glass, so one's clear, one's the green. So we just scraped a little of the sealant off, and you can just see right from here. This one's the clear, this one's the colored. So the color goes to the outside. The color stops the UV rays from trying to get in, and that alone makes things heat up. So you might as well put the color out there, stop it from heating up your argon. So we put the color to the outside, clear to the inside. We got a little bit of this sealant along the edges. So what we did is we came and we cleaned all that really good. So when we go to put our rubber gaskets in the framework, we have a nice seal from rubber to glass, and we don't have any caulking residue in the way, like little things like that. Okay, so we're going to be starting to put some of these in tomorrow, but I just want to explain how it goes. The horizontal sets in here across these two walls, and then we have three verticals that come up out of the horizontal. So what happens is there's a stacking of the glass. So these wider ones are the horizontal ones, and these narrow ones are the verticals. So, but these full panes are almost 9 feet, so there's a lot of weight there. And then what happens is the full verticals go all the way to the top of these openings, and they sit up near the roof line. And so then they stack on top of each other. They'll stack on top of these smaller ones. And these smaller ones are the ones we had annealed and cut. So that smaller one sits on top of that horizontal. And then on top of this smaller one sits the larger one. So there's quite a bit of weight coming down on this glazing. So that's not tempered anymore, so it doesn't have that extra strength of the tempered, which that is, because that comes through the floor, and it's code-wise, you've got to have tempered 18 inches off a floor if you have glass, so that covers the code. This one actually splices below the floor line and sits on top of the horizontal. So you can stack glass on top of itself, as long as there's not a lot of weight. If you start getting a lot of weight and it's a glass edge against the glass edge and you're pressing down, it's not the ideal situation. I mean, usually we put a setting block. Let me get it so you can see it. These are our setting blocks, by the way, and they come in varying thicknesses. This is a 1/4 inch block. And this one's an 1/8 inch. So what we have is our butt joints. We have a 1/4 inch caulk joint at our butt joints, because we don't have one big piece of glass that's going to go all the way across. We have pieces, and we have pieces that go up. So wherever there's a piece meeting a piece, there's a butt joint, and wherever there's a butt joint, you got to have a caulk joint. So say for instance you're stacking. And you have a 1/2 inch inside the frame to stack, so you could get away with stacking glass on top of a setting block and then trying to get caulking in there to conceal it. If you were in a situation where you had a stack and you didn't have too much weight stacking, you can get away with it. But my dad don't want to stack all that weight on there. There's just too much weight to stack on top of the glass. So we're making up these support brackets. What happens is we have our 1/8 inch set. Our 1/8 inch. So what happens is we're just contact cementing the 1/8 inch on top of the bracket. and that makes up your quarter. You got an eighth and an eighth. So this is stainless, 1/8" stainless steel L bracket. So we're adhering the setting block on top of the bracket. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Like that, right? And then that bracket goes through the aluminum window frame, which at that point is the thermal break. We're going to go through that and right into the solid wood on the side of the frame with our 3-inch stainless steel screws. And that's actually going to hold up those top panes and take all the weight, so the weight ain't bearing down on the glazing below. And what happens is that holds the weight, and then this, since there's a butt joint there anyways, this all gets concealed within the caulk joint. Like that. I'll show you. Anyways, we just giving coats of the contact to the rubber, and then we're going to stick it there, and then we'll actually pre-drill through the frames and get these brackets. We'll put the piece of glass in, we'll prop it up with 2x, and then we'll come along and we'll drill in and put our brackets, and then we'll let the top glazing sit right on our brackets. Then we can come below and do what we have to below and just equal the spacing between the panes, and that's it. It's ready to be caulked off. Alright guys, we'll share that with you as it goes. Here's all of our gasketing, and that just sets inside a track. Let me grab a piece. That just sets in the track. This little one sets in the track, and this bigger one compresses against the glazing and makes the seal for water and air. We can share some of that with you too. We use a Dawn liquid detergent to get it to slide in easier. Alright guys, that's it for now. We're just sharing some glazing support brackets. Just showing you how we're doing it. We're not telling anyone this is how to do it. You can do it any way you think is going to work best for you, but this is going to give this glass a break. You know, imagine a heavy weight on your shoulders for carrying extra weight on your shoulders for 50 years. So it's going to carry these big panes. They probably weigh about 60 pounds anyways. So that's what that bracketing is going to do. Alright guys, till the next one. We're going to put it up soon. You get to see it all. From the kiln, to the cutting, to the spacer, to the sealer, to the argon, and now to the install. Okay guys, till the next one.